I'm Patrick Bryant, CEO of software development firm Code and Trust, and also the chairman of the Harbor Entrepreneur Center. This is Entrepreneur Studio, brought to you by SC Biz News. And before we get started, I have to give a shout out to our news sponsor and longtime supporter of all things entrepreneurial and friends of ours, Matt Pardick and Chris Corley of Harbor Wealth Management Group. I'm joined today by one of my favorite entrepreneurs in Charleston, Wesley Donahue. Before we get started, quickly talk about Frothy Beard, the beer we're drinking today, and your other companies before you get to Push Digital.
Oh yeah, so Push Digital is the big one. It's the political firm. We do political marketing digital for a number of politicians, U.S. senators, governors, congressmen around the country. Lawrence Group is the corporate wing of that. We do crisis communication for corporations. And then Frothy Beard Brewing here in Charleston, we are drinking Positive Vibes, which is our golden ale. It's pretty amazing, light, all-day drinking kind of beer.
Give us your biggest win.
I think my favorite win was actually the most recent here in November, which was getting Lindsey Graham reelected to the U.S. Senate. And I'm proud of that one for the simple fact that it was the most expensive race in American history outside of a presidential race. His opponent, Jamie Harrison, raised about $140 million. Lindsey Graham raised about $120 million. That's $260 million just between the two of them, not including super PAC and IE money from outside of the state. Now keep in mind, this state only has 5 million people. Like population, that's not even voters, right? Just population, I think 5.1 million people, and you're spending, I bet there was over $350 million all in spent on that race, and it was just
staggering.
It was insane.
Talk about how you get an account like that. I mean, how do you
relationships?
Yeah,
It's all relationships. To that level. I really wish it was about the quality of work, but the truth is that's just not the case. You see a lot of people doing shitty work, getting big clients. I think we do amazing work. We also have the relationships. So that is simply, I was a field staffer for Lindsey Graham on his very first U.S. Senate race.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and just kept those relationships for years and years. I will be honest with you, Lindsey Graham was one of the harder accounts for me to land. And you and I talked about this a lot before, but there is this, I don't even know what to call it, but there's this mentality that when someone meets you when you're young, you're always that person in their eyes.
We call it intern syndrome.
Intern
right?
syndrome. Maybe that's it.
Once the intern, you're always the intern.
So I'm 41 years old. I started working for Lindsey, I think, when I was 22, and I headed up all the college stuff. So it was my job for Lindsey Graham to go around and build coalitions at all the individual colleges. Well, you do that with beer and pizza, right? And just partying all the time.
Well, you know beer and pizza. That's
exactly, right? So I think that the Lindsey Graham folks still remembered me as that 22, 23-year-old that was just always drunk with all the college kids instead of the 41-year-old entrepreneur, 3 little boys, married for 16 years. I've built a pretty large company, and I think in their eyes, I was still that drunk college kid. So it took me longer to get Lindsey Graham's account than it did almost any account I've ever had.
You're doing very cool things, and so thanks for sharing that story.
Yeah.
It's just it's so refreshing to hear that even at this level, you're still struggling, you're still hustling,
Always.
You're still out there trying to get the account that you want to get. And in this case, it was one that was a long time coming, but well deserved. So
Appreciate
awesome.
it.
Appreciate you being here.
All right, bud. Thanks.